Hey y'all, Noah here. We're going to be going over the installation of MeepMeep in this video. If you aren't aware already, MeepMeep is a visualizer for the Roadrunner Trajectory Sequence API. Just a few prerequisites before we get started. One, I'm going to assume that you're already familiar with Java, you have basic programming knowledge. If not, you probably shouldn't be using Roadrunner. Two, you're already familiar with Roadrunner, you have a quick start setup or your own custom installation already. Three, you have your bot tuned and you're familiar with the rest of the Roadrunner API. Four, you're already familiar with Trajectory Sequence. You don't really need to be familiar with it, but there's a lot of cool things, and I'm not going to go in depth with it in this video. And five, you know how to use Android Studio. So without further ado, let's get started. So we have our blank quick start in front of us right now. Open an Android Studio. This could be your own SDK project or for your own respective team. So if you look to the left of the screen, we have our project tab open. And personally, I like to switch from the project view to the Android view. And this is because it shows the modules all laid out and pretty for us. But yeah, so I'm going to switch to the Android view. And we're going to make a new module. So you're going to right click anywhere in the blank spaces in the project view on the left. And then we are going to click new module. We're going to wait for a second for it to open, and you're going to look for the Java Kotlin library. You might need to scroll, it'll be lower in the list. And we're going to name our library MeepMeep testing because we're testing trajectory sequences with MeepMeep. And visualizing them. So we're also going to name the class name the same thing. Make sure your language is set to Java. We're going to click finish. Android Studio is going to do its thing. And now we have MeepMeep testing right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into MeepMeep testing. We're going to ensure that our class is created right there. But we're not going to touch this right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look for the Gradle script for this project. So build.gradle on this MeepMeep testing. There's a bunch of them. We can see the names for the modules right there. If you expand it, we're looking for MeepMeep testing specifically. So first thing we're going to do in this file, we're going to change the Java targets to 8.1.8 for Lambda functionality. And then we are going to add the following from our GitHub, and the URL is linked in the description. It should just be Noah Bress MeepMeep right there. And so we're going to copy paste this Gradle snippet. And ensure that the version you're using is the latest version. Look at this Jetpack badge right there, and that'll display whatever the latest version is. For now, it is 1.0.0. So we're going to sync this project and wait on that. Alright, so once that's done syncing, we can close this Gradle script. We're not going to touch that anymore. And we're going to go to the MeepMeep testing file. And if you want, you can just copy paste this sample down here. But for education's sake, we are going to type it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to type public static void main. If you've used Java before, you're going to recognize this as the main function that you're going to use to start your application. So in this, we are going to make a MeepMeep object. So declare MeepMeep equals new MeepMeep right there. And this number right here is the window size. And then we're going to do .set background and MeepMeep background we don't need that update right there. Background field ultimate gold dark. And so what we're doing right there is we're setting the field to ultimate gold, the dark version. And 1.0.0 does not have the light version, so my apologies. That'll be released in 1.0.1 as I've not received the field yet. And you'll notice that there's no semicolon right here. I'm going to add that right here. And we're going to do set theme new color scheme red dark. And you don't need to set the color scheme, it just defaults to red, there's green, there's blue. There'll be more out in future versions, or you can make your own. There'll be instructions for that later. So we set ours to color scheme red, dark, because the color switches between the red and light fields. The dark and light fields. So we're going to set the theme. We're going to set the background alpha. And the F means float. And this just, it's the opacity of the background. Just makes it easier to see. The light fields, like 0.8 looks good for them. But for the dark fields, I set them at 1. But set it to whatever you want. Then we're going to do set constraints. And this is why you want to tune your bot before doing this. You don't need to come back and replace these numbers later, but you will want to set these for accurate estimates of the duration of your trajectory. So we're setting constraints: max velocity, max acceleration, max angular velocity, and max angular acceleration. So and then we do follow trajectory sequence, and then we drive. Then we do drive.trajectory sequence builder. And we're just going to make that start at pose of 0, 0, 0. We're going to do build right there. We are going to do a basic forward. And if you run a Control-Alt-L, formats it for you. And yeah, that's all we do. But, you know, we can't do anything with this. There's no run button. So we're going to add a configuration. You go up to this button right here. I'm going to look for this add button, and then we're going to application. And we're going to find a main class. Click that, and your MeepMeep testing will show up. It'll pick that up because you have a public static void main. And then we look for the class path of the module, which will be MeepMeep testing. And yeah, let's give it a name. MeepMeep testing. And there we go. Now, we're all fine and dandy. We could click the run button, wait for it to compile. Oh, this is wrong. Can't find symbol MeepMeep. Okay, so what we're gonna do is what I forgot to do was I did not import this because I have imports and auto corrections off. So there we go. That should auto import for you. So constraints, my bad. What am I doing? Oh, my apologies. There should be a track with there. So these constraints right here are what are okay, like reasonable numbers for a go build a straight for V2 and on. The ones with the 19.2 1-to-1 mid-air gears, a velocity of like 60, an acceleration of 60 inches per second, and these respective angular velocities and accelerations are reasonable. They work. Okay, now we run it, and then we can see once Gradle stops building, we will be able to see MeepMeep running. I neglected to tell you to do .start. There we go. Once we do that, just press the run button, and you're off to the races. Once it compiles, there we go. We have MeepMeep right here. It's building the trajectories, doing all its thing. My computer's kind of dying while this is recording, so it'll be blank for a second, and there we go. Oops. So yeah, there we go. We got the MeepMeep visualizer right here. So we're going forward. I don't know how much do we specify, like 35 inches. So there we go. We have our duration right there. It takes 1.41 seconds. You can drag on the scrubber on the bottom. We can see this color scheme, why it's color scheme red dark. It's because the bot is red and this is dark, and this the X and Y is light. The angle is right here, and we can see that the X and Y looks normal. It's a normal Cartesian coordinates where Y goes up, X is positive to the right, and but you will see the field is flipped. But personally, I think this is easier to think about. You can pause, press the pause button, and yeah, that's pretty cool. So let us go back to Android Studio, and we closed it. So we killed the thread, and it runs an error because I don't have proper error handling, but that is fine. So yeah, that's really all to it. Let's just run another quick example to show you why we have this odd syntax right here. This enables it. So this enables us to be able to run, just copy paste our own modes. So if you're running something like, I don't know, follower PID right here, which actually does use trajectory sequence, we just copy this part. We can take that into MeepMeep testing. In fact, you can do this thing right here, pretty fine and cool. And we just copy paste our thing, and we don't know what distance is because that variable is in this file, but we can simply override those. And we don't know what the start pose either because it is in that file, so we're just gonna override it with our own 000. When you're making your own trajectories, you're not gonna have these variables right here. So what this allows us to do is to just develop a MeepMeep right here, copy paste it back over to this file right here, and then you could iterate on your trajectories in Android Studio together. It's pretty cool. And then we just click run. It'll compile. MeepMeep will run in a second. There we go. We're waiting on this. And there we go. We can see that the follower PID actually goes in a square. And we can see that MeepMeep draws the turn indicators for us. And we can see that that whole square takes, I don't know, 11.77 seconds. So there we go. That's pretty much it. Just have fun. Enjoy working on your trajectories. Good luck on your season. Peace.